Have you ever met someone who changed your life without even realizing it? If you have, then you'll understand what happened to a shy nurse named Alina, whose simple act of kindness melted the heart of a man who thought he'd lost all faith in people. Before we begin, if you love stories that touch your soul and remind you of the power of love, kindness, and fate, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because this one will stay with you long after it ends. Alina was the kind of woman who blended into the background. Quiet, gentle, and soft-spoken, she worked the night shift in the rehabilitation ward of St. Clair's Hospital. Her patients loved her for her patience and smile, but few knew much about her life outside those sterile white walls. Behind her calm eyes, Alina carried her own silence, a silence born from years of learning how to stay unnoticed. One rainy night, a private limousine stopped outside the hospital. From it emerged a frail, elegant woman in her 60s with silver hair and soft eyes. Her name was Mrs. Hamilton, the mother of the powerful and famously cold CEO, Ethan Hamilton. The staff whispered, everyone knew the Hamilton name. Ethan was one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the city, known for his ruthless business tactics and his perfectionist attitude. But few knew that his mother, once a respected music teacher, had lost her hearing years ago after a severe illness. Mrs. Hamilton was admitted for post-surgery care. When Alina was assigned to her, she noticed something others hadn't. Mrs. Hamilton couldn't follow conversations, and most nurses simply nodded and smiled awkwardly. But Alina, without hesitation, gently touched her shoulder and began signing in fluent sign language. "Hello, I'm Alina. I'll be taking care of you." The elderly woman's eyes widened in shock, then filled with tears. For the first time in years, she understood someone's words. She smiled, her hands trembling, and signed back, "You know sign language?" Alina nodded. "My younger brother was deaf," she signed back softly. "He taught me everything before he passed away." From that night, a bond formed between the two. Mrs. Hamilton, who had felt trapped in silence for so long, began to laugh again. They shared stories through signs, about music, family, and pain. Alina would even hum lullabies while Mrs. Hamilton watched her lips move, remembering melodies she could no longer hear. The older woman would reach out, place a hand on Alina's, and smile with gratitude that needed no words. But what Alina didn't know was that someone was watching. Ethan Hamilton, the CEO himself, had come to visit his mother that evening. He stood at the door, unnoticed, watching as the shy nurse communicated effortlessly with the woman who meant the world to him. He saw his mother's face light up, something he hadn't seen in years. He didn't understand sign language, but he understood love. For the first time, Ethan felt something break inside him, guilt. He had been so focused on building his empire that he had ignored the loneliness his mother suffered in silence. And now this humble nurse, with her quiet grace, had done more for her in a few days than he had in years. The next morning, he requested to meet Alina. Nervous and blushing, she entered his office. "Mr. Hamilton, you wanted to see me?" she asked softly. He studied her for a long moment. "You speak with your hands," he said quietly, "but somehow, you've said more to my mother than I ever could." Alina looked down, unsure how to respond. "She's a wonderful woman," she said. "She just needed someone to listen in her language." Those words struck him deep. For a man who had everything, wealth, status, power, he suddenly felt small. He began visiting his mother daily, asking Alina to teach him basic sign language. At first, he was clumsy and impatient, but Alina's encouragement made him persevere. Slowly, he began to communicate with his mother again, one sign, one smile at a time. As days turned into weeks, Alina and Ethan grew closer. Beneath his expensive suits and stern demeanor, she saw a man burdened by guilt and loneliness. Beneath her quiet modesty, he saw a strength that humbled him. She didn't chase luxury, didn't flatter him like others did, she simply understood. One evening, as the sun painted the hospital garden gold, Ethan found Alina sitting with his mother, laughing silently as they shared jokes in sign language. He walked over, signed awkwardly, "May I join?" Both women laughed warmly. His mother reached for Alina's hand and placed it gently into Ethan's. Her eyes spoke volumes. "You make her happy, don't let go." But fate wasn't done testing them. Rumors began spreading in the hospital, that the CEO had fallen for a nurse. Colleagues whispered, and Alina's supervisor warned her to be careful. She tried to distance herself, not wanting to lose her job or reputation. Ethan, however, wouldn't let gossip dictate his heart. One night, he found her leaving the hospital after a double shift. Rain poured down as he called her name. She turned, startled, as he stood there drenched, his umbrella forgotten. "You can't keep running away," he said breathlessly. "People will talk," she murmured. "Let them," he said. "You changed my mother's life. You changed mine. I don't care what they say." Tears welled in her eyes. "I'm just a nurse," she whispered. He stepped closer. "You're the reason my mother smiles again. You're the reason I finally learned what it means to listen." That night, beneath the rain, he signed to her, his trembling hand spelling out each word. "I love you." Mrs. Hamilton watched from the window, smiling through tears. For once, she didn't need sound to feel the music of love.